Hello, Elena. This is astrologer Michael Vanderpool, and I'm very thankful for your contribution to a Facebook page yesterday. Your comments were very relevant and on point about the situation here in the Republic of Georgia, where I'm currently at and have been off and on for well around a dozen years now, and also a good part of those years, at least 7 of those years in large part. So I really appreciated your comments. I know that you were at the World Model Festival before, which I had planned to attend, but was through that I came to your professional modeling page on Facebook, and I'll share the link to that in the comment section below, as I'll plan to publish this astrology reading that I'm giving on YouTube. So anyone that's watching this, they can find Stephanie's professional modeling page link to Facebook in the description here below the slideshow and the astrology reading that you're listening to now here on YouTube and or on Facebook. So I'll start by saying that as an astrologer, a psychic astrologer, I can't guarantee results. No astrologer or a psychic astrologer is 100% accurate. I can't guarantee results. With that disclaimer said, I have been highly accurate. What I'm doing today is I'm going to try to keep this around a half hour, and I'm going to just touch upon the fixed stars chart. That's not my forte, so to speak. It is something I touch upon for people that I read for, that I do astrology for, because that's a very important, less known astrology and astrology charts that really complement the overall astrological knowledge, but it also is just some invaluable insights. And I was quite amazed when I saw your fixed stars chart, and that's why I was kind of excited when I wrote you back after you had commented on my Facebook page. I asked you if I could do this astrology reading. I'm very pleased that you are interested in it. And so I was excited because one of the things that I wanted to point out first of all, and I don't know your entire history. I know that you were a model in Playboy magazine just a year or so ago, and that's a dream that most, at least most models in America, that would only continue to dream about. And you've actually been in Playboy magazine, so I was really amazed at your level of professionalism and success as a professional model. So when I look in the fixed stars chart, just what the first thing that really amazed me is that in the stars of your prime, which would be the life is broken into 3 parts in this chart in terms of the stars of your youth, stars of your prime, and stars of your latter years. And this is Starlight software. It's based on the work of Bernadette Brady, who is an excellent Western predictive astrologer and also considered a fixed stars astrologer expert. And so this is her books. I highly recommend to further interpret this chart on your own, or anybody that's listening. And also there's actually a quite excellent website that has to do with stars and constellations that I'll pass the link over to you as well, that gives some other interpretations from some more traditional or earlier works on fixed stars astrology. So what I was amazed about seeing this fixed stars chart and knowing that you're a professional model is that, and this is also after reviewing the Magi Astrology, which is where I really focus and where I really draw the best of my astrological knowledge and research from, thanks to the Magi Society and Magi Astrology. This is amazing to me about the fixed stars because it complements what I saw there, some of the strengths in your personality, which I'll talk about next from the Magi Astrology charts. But what I'm blown away by is that in the second third of your life, in the stars of your prime, there is a spica as Mars is on the nadir at the time of your birth. And this is interpreted here as a designer, a person who plans, plots, draws, or performs. And then we go down further under that, and there's Capella's the expert, or person who challenges the status quo, which is quite much exactly what your comment was. And it's so interesting to see that that drew you out, that conversation about the oppressiveness, the rigidity of the culture, the society, the religion here, of kind of a harsh version of Christian orthodoxy here in this particular part of the world, in this particular country, for example. And I so much appreciated your comments that this is why I just had to see your stars, and I felt very strongly about you. And that Capella with Saturn on the nadir, the person who, or the expert or person who challenges the status quo, in the second third of your life, these stars are a heavy part of your influence. So if we say you live to be 60 years old, for example, we're going to assume that's the 20th year of your life until the 40th year, for example. If it is if you live to be 80 years old, for example, then we're gonna break that down a little bit different. But that gives you an idea that, say 20 to 40, or maybe even 25 or 30 to 65 or 70 or whatever. However you want to break that down, I'm not sure there's a set rule in terms of, but it's the second third of your life. So if that influence hasn't really come to you, I believe it should be. And even whether you feel it now or not, and I believe you actually are. I believe that yesterday was an expression of that. And you have these great strengths that I'll touch upon in the Magi Astrology that just reaffirms these two particular stars, that if they're not already influencing your life, I believe they will be. And that is to say that that has to do with even more designing, planning, plotting, drawing, and performing, has to do with the work that you're doing, but more on not a choreographer, but a fashion designer. Someone who comes up with their own shows, their own labels, their own designs, plans, events. The entire fashion business is something that you could pursue on a higher level, on a more business level, in terms of you running the show, in terms of you calling the shots, in terms of you making your own designs. So that's a very big message here from your fixed stars chart at this time in your life moving forward. And if you walk away from anything that I give you today, besides some of the predictive points on extremes in love or challenges to losses in love, which I specialize in using Magi Astrology, that's the one message that I want to give you from the fixed stars chart, because I won't be able to cover everything in the short amount of time that I'm going to put into this today. But in looking at this fixed stars chart, this is like a big, strong point of destiny. It's a big message from the heavens that's written in the stars for your destiny, in your skill set, for your life, for something that you should be encouraged to pursue and do, if you're not doing that already. I haven't communicated with you yet, just only on this topic of can I do your astrology chart, because I was so impressed with your challenging the status quo. You're very much kind of like not necessarily a warrior, but almost a reformer, somebody that's out on the front line of the fashion world, or on a statement of just simply being woman, of being human, so to speak, but really putting it out there and really championing the cause of being a human being that's being the best that you can be in that sense, and being all that you can be. So that's a couple of the stars. And Spica with Mars is not only a designer, a person who plans, plots, or draws, or performs. Spica with Mars is somebody that's very active, very almost aggressive, but very assertive for sure, in a way that's very gifted. It's someone that can not only walk down the runway, but walk down the runway of life with a very, I'm here, I came, I saw, I conquered kind of presence. Spica with Mars is a very gifted person in a very assertive way that can make things happen. So this is a stars that's coming in the prime of your life, that's affecting your life now, and that will continue to for a number of years. So those are two things I wanted to point out. Those are the quickest, most impressive things, besides some of the things I'm going to tell you about from the Magi Astrology charts in a moment. But these other stars, as far as being a lawmaker or a lawbreaker, that has to do with setting trends, kind of trendsetter, ideology, kind of a reformist or reformer. But with Ras Al-Geti there with Saturn, it's a strong personal creed or a disciplined person. So it's somebody that can make these things step by step and form and build them into actual reality, into manifesting, into making things happen. So with Deneb Al-Geti there with Saturn, it's a person who believes in the value of persistence and hard work. That's just reaffirming what I said just all the more, but structuring things, but being sure to keep things in balance, because you can overwork yourself, you can overdo it. Antares with the Sun is someone who is intense and focused, the potential to be obsessed. Again, the need to be careful to take breaks, but and use balance in all things. But you have the drive coming in to the point of obsession, but intensity and focus to bring about the success that you need. You've got the network, the contacts, the exposure. You've already been in Playboy magazine, for example, and World Model Festival here in Georgia. And so, and I know you've done modeling in other places. So this is just reaffirming all that, and it's just much more of that. And also, Sheets as Venus, their setting is independent ideas concerning fashion, relationships, and social customs. So those are additional stars that are coming in and affecting the prime of your life. And you can see that the interwoven theme there, they all complement each other on the fate and destiny, the path that you're on in life. So I saw that on your status you have listed a fiance right now, and these are often the changes in life where a partner either complements or maybe sometimes takes things in a completely different direction. I don't know, and it's not my concern about that. But what I can say for the both of you is that you are, as you are engaged to marry, as listed on your status anyway, this is what I see here. It's so easy to read in the chart. You don't have to be an experienced astrologer or a gifted psychic to see that this is very much, even more strongly, you're able to not just be an individual model, but you're able to literally bring in kind of your own entourage, kind of your own army of models, of fashion, of the business, of marching, moving forward. And it's much more than just about money or being a model. It's actually, you're making a statement, and it's your personal creed. It's your you are about fashions and social causes and kind of pushing forward trends and new areas and new creative plateaus that you're kind of pushing up and stepping up, and you're kind of bringing other people into your area of creativity and a new way of seeing things. And so it's a very strong kind of easy to see destiny in terms of your gifts, talents, work and career, and your life statement overall. And so when you come on and said what you said, I just picked up on that, and boom, it's in the chart. And I found this after I had looked at it, and that's why I wanted to do your astrology. So the stars on your foundation, I want to talk about those. Now, these affect you from the beginning until end of life. They're foundational stars like Ras Al-Hagit with Jupiter there setting, is a person who uses knowledge and optimism to expand the lives of others. And so the optimism, the positivity, the bold, kind of I came, I saw, I conquered, kind of confident walk, that strong energy that you bring forth is a foundation stone to your life that you can share with others, and doing it in an optimistic and very positive way. And Ras Al-Geti with Saturn on the nadir as a foundational star is a strong personal creed, a disciplined person. So again, that just is a foundation to what is also coming in the same way in terms of another star's influence at this second third of your life. Regal with Saturn, the lawmaker or lawbreaker, again as culminating in an orb. That's just, again, the more you're kind of not only working within trends or within rules or ways of doing things, but you're kind of reforming or recreating those as you move along. And you're able to very much do that. That's very much within your influence and within your skill set, so to speak. Spica with Mars, again, culminating a designer, a person who plans, plots, draws, or performs. That's not only a foundational star, as we mentioned before, it's now an influence at this particular second third of your life very strongly. Betelgeuse said the Jupiter rising is a person with hunger or knowledge or adventure. So you're not the kind of person that is suitable for just staying in one country or sitting at home and watching the TV or domesticated, so to speak. You're a person literally that is kind of like a tigress in terms of you like to pursue exciting places, things, people, and interesting social situations, and that's perfect for the line of work and the passion that you exude and have manifested in your life as a model. And so you could just, if you feel inclined and you want to flow with the energy in your life, you could take that to the next step, to another level. Perhaps you're already doing that. I don't know. But if you're not already doing the business, so to speak, on a design, on a management, on your own kind of business model kind of thing, please be encouraged to do so. And that's what I saw here in the stars. Now, in your youth, the first third of your life, you have a Castor with the Moon, therapeutic use of humor, a love of reading or writing. And humor, of course, is a very wonderful gift to have when you're trying to promote bold optimism and positivity and to keep that in your sphere of influence and the lives that you touch with the work that you do. Also, Pollux with Jupiter, culminating is the love of the pursuit of unusual ideas or mental addiction. You sound like very much the intellect in that sense. The wriggle is Jupiter is culminating to be brave physically or with your ideas. Bellatrix with Venus, the rogue, the creative person who works in alternative fields. So you've got a lot of experience, according to the stars, in the first third of your life with creativity, with innovation, and also that's reflected in the Magi Astrology big time. The kind of not only kind of new age or new outlooks or a different outlook in new and fresh ways, but also very much the innovation. Innovation is a big keyword for you. And of course, this again, it reflects and complements and emphasizes a lot of the stars that we just talked about, especially your foundational stars in the second third of your life. So Bellatrix, it kind of comes with a bit of stubbornness or kind of hard times in life. So if you went through some things and kind of hardened you or toughened you up, you can kind of use that as a foundation, but you don't have to stay with that hard edge, especially at this level of success in your life. Ross Al-Haga with Mercury is someone that's interested in spreading, investigating, or studying methods of healing. That's interesting. And of course, that's a wide open area of study and pursuit. Methods of healing are a lot more than just a traditional hospital and traditional medicine chest, as you probably well know, I'm sure. That's something that you have, according to the stars, some experience or some ideas about or with. That's something to remember as you move forward. The helical setting star, I'm kind of going up here, believing in or seeking freedom and fairness. That's Capella. So again, the idea of freedom, which is what you were commenting on my page about, we were kind of had a couple of exchanges about there in terms of society and religion and oppression and things like that and traditions and so on. This is a big part of who you are, believing in and seeking freedom and fairness. Now, certainly it's not fair to be so oppressed and restricted by society's often very limited and false ideas, and also that of religion, of course. The helical rising star, and I'm kind of moving up backwards at this point, but it's the rising star, the helical rising star in your chart is a big influence, as the last one, Capella, does, over your entire life or your entire character and energy or personality. The star is Acumen rising. That's the helical rising star, and it's suffering at the hands of others or subject to rumors. I have a lot of experience with this particular star with some people that I've been close to or still am close to in my personal life. So I not only know this by reading off of some chart or seeing it out of one of Bernadette Brady's excellent books on fixed stars astrology, or the Starlight chart here, what I know about this star is that it is, and you need to know this very well. First of all, I can say you should take better, and I'm not a medical doctor, I don't give medical advice. Always see a medical professional, but I can say that this star is indicative of the need for taking better care of vision. That would include eye strain from reading too much, too many books, too many manuals, just reading too much, period, especially on electronic devices, especially at night, studying eye strain, everything about, pinhole glasses, eye exercises, fruits, herbs, fruits and vegetables, things that strengthen the eye, green tea and so on, just all the latest, and of course staying up with the exams, and maybe even eye exercises. There's books out there about eye strengthening exercises and strengthening vision methods and so on. So those are things that that you may want to consider to master and to keep on top of and keep up regular eye exams, because acumen can affect eyesight. However, in another way, very, very important, is that acumen is a biting, stinging tongue. It is a cutting tongue. And these people that have this star oftentimes will absolutely chew somebody up, cut somebody up, sting somebody like a scorpion, and or a bee. A bee sting would be probably just as appropriate to use as an example. And that's the tongue that these people have that have this star, especially so prominent in the chart as you do. And so what happens is they say things often that they just absolutely regret later. They don't always mean it, and they can't understand, why did I say that? Why did I just cut that person up all to pieces? Why did they sting them? Why did I bite them with my tongue and sting them and cut them up? And so the regret comes later. But what happens is the rumors, the people that you hurt in this way or that you cut in this way, with the sharp, biting, stinging tongue, they take revenge. They make up intrigues. They make up rumors. They make up false stories. Or they may take some intrigue against you. And so that's the problem, is that you may not realize that you've often, as we often do, cause our own problems in life with the things that we say or do. We're often our own worst enemy. So in knowing this, the more that you can take measures, method, or self-reflective, contemplative strategies that you yourself come up with in how to deal with that, is going to be a more safer and blessed life, especially your close personal relationships and family relationships, and of course friendships and professional relationships and so on. It's going to work out much, much better for you, because you really, really can. Just absolutely, like a scorpion, you can just sting the hell out of somebody, or you can actually take them out. And this is causing a lot of drama, probably in ways that you may not have realized. It's probably been a bit more than you've thought about. So getting a handle on that and figuring out what's best for you to work with that would be highly recommended according to the chart that I'm looking at. Now, to switch over to the Magi Astrology, because at this moment we're at 23 minutes in the audio, I may have to go over, we'll see. The first thing we can say is that in the heliocentric chart, we are looking at the sun-centered chart of Magi Astrology, your birth chart, the heliocentric side, and that's the first thing we see here is the strongest, besides the Venus trine Chiron here, which, let me touch upon that really quick firstly. The Venus trine Chiron is what I mentioned earlier. It's being very much a lever of the new age, and a very key kind of keyword to this is innovation or innovativeness. Also, Venus trine Chiron is a very loving, romantic person. It's one of the most romantic energies. It's one of the most true love energies in a chart. So, I mean, you're capable of a very magical experience in life, very magical energy, but also to be very strongly, truly loving. That's a gift from the stars that you were born into. And that same Venus is aspecting the Earth too. And that was in sync. That means you're a very Venetian girl. No need to even second guess that one, of course, because you're everything Venus, and Venus does aspect the Earth. But also in sync with that was Uranus, or is Uranus trine Earth at the time of your birth. That is the most dynamic, powerful flow of Uranian or Uranus energy to you. In Magi Astrology, the Earth, Moon, and the birth chart, that is you. So you are everything Uranus too, not just Venus. So this is someone that's very independent, They're very, they can travel a lot. They can kind of almost have a rebellious attitude sometimes or approach to life. It can be eccentric. It can be somebody that's wonderful with being entertaining or the entertainment life or entertainment business. It can be someone who's very much famous or a celebrity or this type of energy. And it's someone that can be involved with radio, world travel, and everything that Uranus rules. And you have a very dynamic maximum flow of that energy in your life in terms of that being a trine. In terms of the strength of the energy, I think it's already playing out in your life, and it will continue to do so because you were born with that. So that's a little bit of the heliocentric chart. I'm taking a quick look at the declination side of it and to see if there's anything significant, because I'm not covering everything here. There is a Mercury parallel Neptune, so it would suggest that you have a very beautiful voice, that you could sing or just be very pleasant, very melodic to listen to, very beautiful voice. And also you would probably enjoy you could probably hang with a good lecture or seminar pretty well. You'd also probably like longer voyages and travels or time in other countries than the average person. You probably like very much an expat or work travel type of style as far as living in other places than the average person would. Now to get over to I'll say this too. There is Juno quincunx Earth, but separating, and that same Juno is the focal point of a yod that forms, that's quincunx to Chiron. That Chiron aspecting Earth too at 60 degrees. So that's kind of a yod or a finger of God to the focal point of Juno. Juno, though, quincunx Earth, let's just talk about that one. That is a very supersexual energy. So that is where you pick up the supersexuality. Also, the very big energy as a dreamer. The problem can be sometimes that Juno gives the influence of not keeping long-term commitments and not sticking with commitments as much as other people would. So with that caveat in mind, it's also someone that's very good at filmmaking or creating illusions, or again, that can create something kind of dreamy or from the illusion and manifest that into reality. That would certainly complement a designer's touch as well, or anybody in the modeling or artistic works or businesses, including, as I said earlier, the film work as well. So now to get over to the geocentric side, there is a Mars trine Uranus. This is someone that can be a very bold speaker, almost like a sports broadcaster. It's also someone that they have the energy to travel the world. It's also someone that is very gifted in astrology if they want to be. They have a special gift for that if they choose to pursue that. But it's a very kind of bold, very strongly independent energy. And that's one of the strongest energies on this side. You've also got, in the geocentric chart, you've got Mercury trine Pluto, and that is someone who can be a very powerful thinker, teacher, speaker, writer, communicator, and who likes to go to just anywhere in terms of travel, but especially places that make an impact on your life in one way or another. But it's someone that can sometimes think and speak so deeply and crystallize their thoughts at such a level that when other people may be completely lost in what you've spoken, and what you've written, and what you've said, and what you've come up with in terms of a line of thinking and a way of seeing something, or in a teaching that you've either come up with yourself or that you've come across in your deep study and research. So that's something to be aware of. That's a very great strength. You also have a Venus conjunct Neptune, and that again kind of adds a kind of a romanticism to your nature, but also a very artistic, very creative energy to who you are and to yourself. So then there are a few other aspects here, but I'm running into 29 minutes. So what I'll do is very quickly, I'll give you a couple of predictive points. We'll go over time here, so to speak, then a little bit more than I wanted. I'll cover just the extremes in love, gains or losses, and then I'll wrap this up and publish this so that you can have this and others can get an idea of just very quickly in around a little over half an hour what we can do with some look on fixed stars astrology, and then of course with Magi Astrology, which I love. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm kind of looking at some heartbreak transits in Magi Astrology, so I'm looking at the midpoints in particular, and also Saturn, both clashed Chiron, natal Chiron. And it looks to me like, in particular, maybe a little bit even before, but 2005 and in particular 2006 seemed to be a year of losses or challenges to loss, and then again, and that means in terms of love, family, or money, or relationships, or even a marriage. But it in particular came around again, Saturn applying to natal Chiron in a loop transit in 2008, 2009, and that you had one midpoint opposing Chiron in 2010. So 2008 to 2010, but in particular 2009 would have been another area or in period in your life where you would have had a challenge to loss or heartbreak in issues of love or money. Then it would have came around again, at least a stretch of that in the latter parts, for sure, of 2013. It looks like it came in also into just the very first part of 2014, and it looks like you're actually in it. I'm sorry to say that you're in it now. You've got a Saturn opposing natal Chiron opposition in a loop transit, and that peaked out, first peak of 4, February 29, 2016, and again April 19, 2016, and you got another stretch of it to go here, at least in the geocentric chart, peaking out November 15, 2016. You'll face another challenge, a little bit more harsher of this kind in terms of looped heartbreak transit in 2019, and you'll want to be aware that year, you know, when you go through these things, you don't want to make big changes. You certainly don't want to marry. You want to marry when you get out of that transit and you get into what the Magi Society will judge as the best date. In terms of a marriage, you want to use the very best dates that you can within the window of time that you're working with. In terms of the Magi, certified Magi astrologers weighing out of all the aspects of a day and your personal transits and that of your partner, astrological transits. But in terms of what's happening, not only did you have that heartbreak in 2013, 2014, but like I said, you've got the peaks of February 29, 2016, April 19, 2016, and November 15, 2016, and that Saturn opposition Chiron in geocentric sky, but you've got a January 9th, 2017 of Saturn opposition Chiron in heliocentric sky. And again, you'll see that harsh one coming up in 2019, which is a looped heartbreak transit. So what the advice would be typically from Magi Astrologer and using Magi Astrology is that you want to clear that heartbreak transit before you actually get married. And in this case, it looks to be at least past mid-January in 2017. So I would encourage you to look very closely at any wedding dates or marriage dates set, because the idea is based on Magi Astrology, is based on natalization or embedding or permanently tying in the energy of the date that you marry in terms of your personal transits, your partner's astrological personal transits, and then what's happening in the sky above, which actually that horoscope in the sky above of that day represents the marriage chart itself, and it sets up an astrological progression. So in this case, I don't know, I will do a quick check here to see if you're in one now, and it looks like that at the moment I don't see a heartbreak transit at the moment. So, but it will come in again, and I'm searching that out now to see if I can track when that's going to start. again, because you've already had 2 loops of it. And it looks like I'm into September now. Okay, in October 6th, well, that's Chiron applying to Saturn, so let's back off of that for a second. That's not exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so in October 6, 2016, the Saturn opposition Chiron has begun. That transit has begun, and it lasts until January 9, 2017. So that's a stretch of time that you definitely wouldn't want to get married under without tying in a heartbreak transit. Now, I'm coming back in time to see, how long that's going to last and stay there. But in any case, we've already run into 35 minutes. Now, you can read up on the Magi Astrology heartbreak transits by simply searching that term in Google search. But that's also Magi Astrology natalizations. It's one thing that we don't want to do is take on sign up for a serious project or a job, or natalize above all things a wedding date or a marriage date under the heartbreak energy, because it's kind of a bad luck energy too. I mean, it just, whatever kind of thing that kind of ties in some kind of nightmare or some kind of bad luck or some sort of real heartbreak into a marriage date, a wedding date, or a new job start date, or signing up for a new job or a contractor, or any of those things. So one can study Magi Astrology, wedding dates or marriage dates, or Magi Astrology natalization, and get more information on that. That's one of the number 1 teachings that we learned from the Magi Society, is to do very careful astrological research using Magi Astrology on setting a wedding date. That's the most important thing. So that's what I can share with you just very quickly. And I did say that I would cover some gains in love, so I'll take an extra couple of quick minutes to give you an idea of what's coming up in that, in terms of what we call astrological Cinderella transits in Magi Astrology. What I'm doing now is going to give you the Cinderella transits, as I mentioned before. I just took a pause to run that, and I want to say overall, it looks like you started out kind of young in life with a lot of very magical Cinderella kind of love, romance kind of energy. And of course, as a Magi Astrologer, I am under the impression that we can have more than one soulmate or more than one love in life, or true love. So if I make reference to that, life is sometimes cruel, or simply things happen. And I'm certainly believing in monogamy and lifelong relationships if and when it's possible, and it's not always that life affords us that, and you probably know that lesson already very well. That said, you being born with a Venus trine Chiron, it's one of the best, most wonderful, magical energies to be born under, honestly, and especially for love and just kind of a magical kind of touch to life. And I think that you've experienced that many times since you were youth, and say in 18, 20, or even a little bit younger, but coming on up through there. So I want to point out some of the more impressive extremes. Like when 2013, it was almost like an obsessive type of love or big breakthrough with some powerful move in career opportunities or projects or something like this, or just love itself or just business itself. That continued through into the beginning part of 2014. But it touches again in this year. It's a very powerful Chiron parallel Pluto, and it continues into February 20th of 2017. In fact, it would consider a wedding date, trying to get away from the heartbreak energy, and maybe even look into February a bit, or get in past the January, but that's certainly there. But you could have even come into a strong real love even as in the year of 2015 into this year, 2016. There's Chiron, quincunx Venus, loop transits, but the Chiron even parallel Neptune is ahead of you in this year. So the magic hasn't left, it's already there. And I'm talking about the magic of love, romance, and I'm talking about real strong. It came in 2015, it's here in 2016, multiple transits. Even a Chiron quincunx Earth came in last July 28th, peaked out in 2015. Again, September 6, 2015. And again, February 13, 2016. There's another Chiron Earth, quincunx Earth, March 11, 2016. April 16, Chiron parallel Neptune. So it's just multiple. There's more here in 2016 that continue into November peak, December 29, 2016 peak of Chiron quincunx Earth, and February 28, 2017 a Chiron parallel Neptune. And then you'll even have another round of a Chiron parallel Venus in 2017 and 2018. So it looks, I would say by stars very easily, within the last year into this year, you've found true love. I mean, if you haven't, I'll be very surprised. Obviously, I can assume because you have an engagement listed as a status on your Facebook that is the case. However, whether it is or not, I would be very, very surprised if you're not engaged or in a very strong love relationship already right now that would have been really developed and well-formed, or that really had that kind of true love, very strong, almost obsessive energy. And I say that in a positive, very positive sense in the last, in 2015 and 2016, and that will continue, I think, very strongly. So there's not to say that there's not some challenges in that because of the heartbreak transits that we see. However, it's kind of a multiple set. It's very rare and unusual to see that many multiple sets of Cinderella transits. So I'd say that's a very beautiful, wonderful, magical time in your life and in your love life and romance, and also, if it's not already there, even more opportunities and developments in your business life, in your career, and any projects that you pursue in this time. It's really, really wonderful, really magical to see that. And again, you were born with that energy, and that's so rare. Not everyone is born into a Venus trine Chiron energy. So that's really wonderful and beautiful to see. And again, you'll see this sort of thing in some of the years ahead here, and I'm talking about now into 2020. That's as far as I've looked today. So thank you for the opportunity to do your astrology and to share it with you, and for your permission to use some of the images here in the slideshow as I finish this audio astrological reading up to you. I can point out my website at www.universalstars.net. And again, this is astrologer, intuitive, or I like to say, I guess it's easier for people to understand in the West, Psychic Astrologer Michael R Vanderpool, or Reverend Dr. Michael R Vanderpool. And just finished up an astrology reading on the Playboy Model, Elena Stefanova. Also, she was part of World Model Festival in the country of Georgia, which is how I came to know her through a designer that had invited her here. And seeing her on Facebook today and some of her comments just absolutely emphasizes some of the chart. And I was just amazed at what we have found and shared today in finding what's written in the stars and in her, a little bit of her soul and her passion and her destiny. And so I encourage you to make the most of that and to really, really go for it. You've got every bit of the ability, the energy, and the destiny before you to make that happen and to realize that in its fullest sense. So thank you, Elena, for this opportunity to do your astrology. And again, my website, anybody that wants to contact me for a reading like this, or looking ahead, or in terms of the extremes of the astrology of love, using Magi Astrology in particular, you can contact me at www.universalstars.net. This is Michael Vanderpool. Thanks for listening.